Madrid won him early, which is quite an interesting thing. They've got this. Well, they haven't. There is a mad World Club Cup thing. There's a little transfer window. They sort of want to get him early. People are acting like he'd be leaving now. He wouldn't be, but it's more of a registration thing. But it is interesting to see sort of how the club plays it, how he plays it, and whether it affects what goes on with the end of the season.
Yeah, because you mentioned it not necessarily being now, but I guess the kind of thing Liverpool would have to think about is if they do agree to do that early move, and that all sort of comes out now, would they consider just shutting him down for the rest of the season and not sort of being a part of Liverpool squads for the rest of the season? I think, to be honest, like the emotional part of me, like almost the heart versus head conversation that's going on at the moment. The head is saying, listen, I want Liverpool to get over 90 points and Trent Alexander-Arnold can contribute towards that. But the thing I've said, for the past couple of months now around the Trent thing is like, it's not logical, and football is not a logical space, is it? So my heart is sort of ruling my head at the moment, really, and it's telling me that like I would quite like the idea of shutting Trent down for the rest of the season. Really, I'd quite like the idea of him not being able to in any way taint these celebrations at the back end of the season. I tweeted the other day when the news broke that I don't want anyone to like find like new levels of anger for this now, because we're celebrating winning the league title ultimately, and you saw the outpouring of emotion from Trent's teammates when he announced the news. It's clear, as it would be in any workplace really, that Trent's going to have mates who work alongside him. I don't want any of them feeling conflicted about the reaction that he's going to get over these next few games. I want all of them to be able to celebrate what they've achieved this season, for us to be able to celebrate that with them, and not have to worry about him being booed or any of those kinds of things. So if there is a way which we can sort of almost take him out stage left really now, and as I say, not have to worry about any of those sort of adverse reactions of what fans be like over the next few games, so that we can just enjoy it, so that the players can all just enjoy it. And a lot of what the journalists have been saying the last few days, I read that piece from Chris Bascombe in the Telegraph especially, and he was sort of saying Trent knows what the reaction's going to be like, and all these kinds of things. Well, if he knows, then he really should also be prepared to just go, like, if you want to crack on without me, just crack on without me, kind of thing. And I know that people will see that as him being a shit house and all these kinds of things. I personally don't. I see it as him just trying to do what is now best for Liverpool, to go on and celebrate the rest of the league title, if he was to take that decision to just sort of leave himself out now.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because it does maybe give everyone a bit of an out, because they'll be a little bit nervous about the end of the season, how to play it, because they'll be aware of what they've done for past players. And listen, Trent Alexander-Arnold has done more for Liverpool Football Club than, say, Naby Keita, for example. I'm not picking on him. I'm just talking about him being someone who sort of got this big thing, and so they'll be conscious of it. Like Josh says, his teammates are obviously still hold him in sort of real high esteem. The manager will only work with him for a while, but has spoke about getting a lot of him. You saw how John Henry was talking to him sort of on the pitch, and so it makes me laugh when people say like, oh, he shouldn't be on the parade bus. It's like, well, who's going to stop him? Do you know what I mean? It's like, who's going to say you're not coming on? Because everyone who's got the authority to do that will want him to be on there, and so all of that, is going to happen, and people need to make the peace with it. But I think the idea of something on the pitch like does will be making people a little bit nervous, and how you do it. And like Josh says, do you want to do something that might turn into a negative? This might end up just being something that ends up just to be a bit convenient for everyone, and then gets Liverpool a little bit of money, which won't be what they necessarily would have got for him, but is an amount of money that goes back into the pot to pay for the academy where he came from, for example.
Yeah, maybe. We'll as football fans think way more emotionally about this than Arne Slot will. Yeah. And even sort of people at the club. I think that these people have to work with Trent every day, and you see that, as Josh said, you see the outpouring of sort of support for him and thanks from his co-workers. But I think almost a happy medium is to not haul him out of the squad, for him to be part of the squad, but him not to come on, basically, because then you're not creating this headline of, oh, he's been axed, he's been ditched, he's in none of the squads for the next 3 games. You're not bringing him on, because then you're bringing him on to potential boos and creating more headlines around it. To be honest, I was trying to work out why I was so angry yesterday, because I've known that this was coming, and one of the big reasons is because every day since we've won the league has been brilliant. It's been people posting pictures from their Sundays. It's people talking about them. It's going to Chelsea and celebrating being champions and crowing and doing things we've never got to do. And then this is out on bank holiday, and we're having to fucking work on a bank holiday, and you know, but it's coming out, and now for the entire week, everyone's talking about Trent, and it's all that anyone wants to talk about and wants to debate, and we're part of that. But so I'm a bit angry at like that, really. I've not liked the vitriol towards him. Like I'm frustrated. I'm angry at him, to be honest. But I've not liked how far some of the vitriol has gone online. But I also don't want anything to taint the next 3 games, because the next 3 games should in theory be 3 of the most enjoyable of our lives, really, and it started at Palace, at Spurs, and it continues at Chelsea in a massive way in that away end. You see it, and the next 3 games should be really enjoyable. I don't want the feeling I had at Leicester, where Trent comes on and people around us are booing, and I didn't boo, but like I also understand the people that have booed, and people won't like that either, because there's no right answer to any of this. There's so much nuance, and then he scores, and I loved it. And I even loved the celebration where he takes and he has the shirt above his head. But then the bit I hated was him standing in front of the away end with his shirt off like this, like nodding his head, and I'm thinking like, I don't like that. There's something that I don't like about that. There's something that irks me about that, because some people have booed you here, but some people haven't, and it's like you're sort of giving it back to the away end. That's what I thought. And now that it's all come out, then you think of what happens at the West Ham game where he's doing that. That's to us, and I really don't like that. So I'm in this like really strange space at the moment, but what I do want is the next 3 games to be able to really, really enjoy them, and I don't want them to be tainted or ruined by any of this.